All right, so moving on, we've talked about okay, we are supposed to talk about um, limits, right? We are still on filtering, so we are looking at different ways of filtering rows in SQL. So we have the major one, the major one is using the where clause, and we're going to see that a lot. We're going to see that a lot. And here we've seen how distinct also helps us to filter, to remove non-duplicate, to remove duplicate data, duplicate rows from the result set. Now, the last of them, which I would like to show you, is something you have seen before, but you might have not noticed. Is the top. If I say select top, now you remember if I do select top 1000, right? So select top 1000, that will select up the top 1000 rows from the columns I'm trying to fetch. So select top 1000, job title. Let me use the from clause from human resources dot employee. Okay, top 1000 business entity ID and job title. Okay, so now if I query that, I execute that, because it gives me the entire rows 290, because that row is not, the row in the table is not up to 1000. Now let me use a much lesser number. So let me use 10. Select 10, top 10. Now you see that? Can we confirm the result?
Yes.
All right, so that is how top works. Another thing you can use top with is, instead of specifying the numbers, you can specify a percentage. So I can say select top 10%, top 10% of the rows in those columns. And I'm going to get the 10% of, we all know the 10% of 290 is 29. So it gives me 29 rows. All right, so now let's talk about logical operators. This is another amazing, very powerful operators in SQL. Logical, I'm going to put that in a comment. Logical operators. The logical operators actually determines whether let me put it down. Whether a specific character, whether a specific, let me put, okay. Matches a specified pattern. Oh, I'm actually, this one is specifically for the like operator. Specific character matches a specified pattern. Okay, so here, not to confuse you, I'm talking about logical operators, and I have there are a few logical operators. Okay, so I have a logical operator like like is one logical operator. We also have and, we have or, and we have not, and there are more. There is more logical operators. Okay, but I'm just going to stay on these four. Now, like, this is what like does. Like, the like operator, the first one I'm going to talk about, it determines whether a specific character matches a specified pattern. That is what the like operator does. Okay, so now let's have an example of how it works. Now I'm going to use the person table. So let me run a general query on that table. Person dot person, select first name and last name from that table. Now if I run that query, okay, so you're going to see first names. Actually, let me include the business entity ID. I always like to include that. Business entity ID. Okay. Now, if you look at this, so I'm selecting the business entity ID column, the first name and the last name from the table, and I'm getting 19,972 rows back. And here, now let's say I want to use the where clause. I want to filter the rows. Okay, to include, please hold on a second. I'll be. Hello.
You're here.
Okay. So now with this query, I was able to retrieve the business entity ID column, first name and last name, all of the rows from those three columns. Now let's say I want to filter this data to include only last name that starts with S. Only those people whose last name starts with S. What we saw earlier was to filter the rows to only include only last names that are brown, remember? So let's say we want to just only last name that start with S. So we can, in this case, we can use the like operator. So, and this is how it is, you use it. So where last name, okay, that's just the last value. Where last name, okay, like, then I'm going to provide a string, and I'm going to say S and percentage. I'll run that and I will explain after running it. So I'll execute. Now, if you look at the table now, instead of 19,970 rows, you now have 2,130 rows as a result. And then if you look at the columns, if you look at the data returned, you see the last name column now only has last names with only that start with S. So the people that are here in this table now are only those people whose last name start with S. So this is how you might do it if you have to do something like this. So using the like operator. Now, what does the like operator do again? Let's go back to the definition. It says it determines whether a specific character string, this is a specific character string it is referring to. This one, the S in particular. The S in particular, or let's say the entire thing in the quotes. Okay. So whether that character string matches a specified pattern. Okay, so whether what we provide here in the quotes matches a pattern in the name. We are providing a pattern. By this, we said we are looking for a pattern. What is the pattern? S. Percentage is a wildcard, is what we call a wildcard. And what does it do? If you put percentage before a character, a letter, or anything like this, percentage, what it does is it's going to create a pattern that starts with that thing you put before it, and then anything else can come after. But compulsorily, what you put before percentage is anything that is going to be compared to, or that's going to match that what you have before percentage must start with what is before percentage. I don't know if that is confusing or clear. So let's say I have S percentage, okay, and I have a name Sabella, okay. Now if I'm using this as a pattern to match Sabella, that would work. I will get a result because Sabella start with S, okay, and percentage means that anything that we are comparing to this string must start with S. Now if I put A here, Sabella will no longer match because we are looking for anything that starts with A. Is it clear?
Yes, it is.
All right, good. So that is how like works. All right, let's see another example. Let's say we want to retrieve. There is a table here in the. Now I happen to know I'm very, very familiar with the AdventureWorks database. That's why I can talk about any table here. There is a table called production.product. In your own case, you might need to, if I give you an assignment now, something to work on, you might need to always open the database, come here to Object Explorer, open the database and look for the table you want to query, and then probably write a query to see all the columns and the rows in that table before you'll be able to do the assignment I ask you to do. Okay, so just as a hint. Now, so I don't always go there. I don't always go to Object Explorer because I'm very, very familiar with the table, and I have the data at hand. All right. So let's say I want to retrieve. I want to write a query on a table called product. So let me run a general query on that table. Select from all from production dot products, and I execute that. What do I get? How many rows return there?
504.
Yeah, 504 rows, and you can see all the data, products, the columns, product ID, name, product number, everything about products is what is contained in this table. So this table is a table of products. You can see the products here under product name columns: adjustable race, bearing ball, BB ball, and so on. Now let's say we want to only retrieve products whose name contain bike. Only products whose name contains bike. How do we do that? Or before I do that, before I do that, let's say I want to retrieve I'm asking you now, if I want to retrieve columns, okay, if I want to retrieve products whose name ends with, let me say, whose name ends with the letter E. Only product whose name ends with the letter E. How would I do that?
So we have where
Okay.
product, like, but I don't know if the percentage is going to be in front of the letter E now or after it.
Where was it when we searched for when S starts, when the name starts with S? Where was percentage?
After the S.
Yes. So where would it be now that we are looking for end?
Maybe it will be before, if I'm correct.
Exactly.
Oh.
So say when name like percentage E. Execute, and we have 48 rows return. Let me focus on, let me select fewer columns so that we can focus on the data that we want. So product and name. So you see that if you look at the data now, we have adjustable race, blade, cone shaped race, every product that ends with the letter E. Is that clear?
It is. It's clear.
Now the question now is, what if I want to run this same query, but this time I only want to see the products that contains the word bike.
What bag?
Bike,
Yeah.
bike, B-I-K-E.
Okay,
Product
bike.
with bike. How do you
Then
think
it would be where name equal to into column. I mean into quote bike.
Well, it turns out that you tried, but it turns out that all you need to do is to put bike inside 2%, the wildcard. So before and after. This means any product name, any name that contains bike. That is what that pattern means. So let me run that. You see that? You see the results, we now have just 5 rows because it's only 5 products that has that is bike related. Any question?
Yeah, it's good so far.
Mr. Kwam, are you with us? Okay, so we've seen one last example I will show you on what's it called now again? On the like operator before I move to another operator. Is we can also search for, we can use a range. Okay, so if a name or if a column either contain this letter or this character or this letter or this character or this letter or this character, any of those names, example earlier, from the earlier examples, we searched for name that start with S, and we also search for a name that ends with E. So let's say now we want to look at the example of a name that either ends with either contain S, E, or any other letter. Do you understand what I'm saying?
The names that have S and E in it. It doesn't matter
not compulsorily S and E. If it is
okay.
E, you want to be more flexible. Okay, let's say if the name has E, then it should be part of the result, or it has S, or it has B. You just want to have a variety.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so let's see an example. Okay, so let me use the same table. So where name like. So with that, I'm going to use the square brackets. So let's say I'm using any name that has M, N, or any product name that has M, N, or O. And then after that, it starts with any of this letter, and then anything that comes after. Do you understand? So let me execute that.
Yeah, I do. Yes.
Can you see the result? You see, we have men's bib shorts, metal angle, metal plates. If I scroll down more, you have well, we only have things M. Probably we don't have O. We don't have N. We don't have
N and O. Okay.
Yeah.
So this query will give us response. Our response will contain any words in that particular column, any word that starts with either M, N, or O.
N or O. Yeah. Okay. So there is one last character in the wildcard, in the pattern that I would like to show you is the underscore character. So he actually, the underscore character matches any single character. So if I can put underscore before the square bracket. What this means, so let me just tell you before I'm running out of battery, and I think we have just we still have 30 minutes before class ends. Are we together?
Yeah, with you.
So any moment from now, this thing can kick me out. So if I was out, that means it will be the end of the class. I didn't know. I did not know that I didn't have enough fuel in the generator. I turned it on, but it went off back. So if it ends, that we'll continue tomorrow. What time do you normally start class on Sunday?
I think 2 p.m.
PM, okay. All right. So using the underscore character actually represents any single character. So what that means there is that any single character before, match any single character, then match this, any name. Oh, let me put it this way. Match any name, okay. I want to put it in a way that will be very, very clear. Match any name that has either M, N, or O, but starts with any other character, and then anything can come after using the percentage. Is that clear or confusing?
What you're saying in essence is this particular query will give us anything that has M, N, and O in it.
But starts with something, any other character. If you look at the example now, look at the first data. Cone. You see that C comes after O.
Okay.
Then you have the
I get
next
it.
example. You have down. D comes after O. You see that? Then this one is internal. I comes after N. Any single character, match any name that has any single character, then followed by any of the character here, and then anything can comes after using percentage. Is that clear?
Yes, it is.
All right. So before I am kicked out, because the next thing I would like to talk about is the logical AND operator. That is another big operator on its own that we are going to have several examples on. So I think we are going to stop here because of my battery issue. So we'll continue from here in our next class.
Right.
Let me stop the recording. Any question?
No question so far.
So how do you